All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour, where the times, it appears, are pretty tough for the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Is trying to recuperate from a series of scandals and also a major revolt against his leadership this week. Now, later in the day today, Boris Johnson will deliver his first policy speech since the vote of confidence. Now, Johnson is leading an economy that is on the brink of a recession. Fixing a flagging economy is going to be one of the key challenges for Boris Johnson. And today he's expected to promise a reset. Johnson will outline plans to tackle Britain's cost of living crisis. Now, under Britain's skewed property market, sky-high prices have deprived the younger people of home ownership. Rising rental prices have compounded the misery, while inflation is said to be at a 40-year high at 9%. This is the worst cost of living crisis that's been witnessed in Britain in generations. Now, ahead of the recovery plan, the United Kingdom's economy has received some dire growth forecasts. The Paris-based Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development sees zero growth for the United Kingdom next year. It will be the weakest growth of any G20 economy apart from Russia. While the British Chamber of Commerce has sees the economy shrinking 0.2% in the final quarter of this year. The downgrade reflects the heightened political and economic uncertainty. Under pressure from his members of parliament to cut taxes, Boris Johnson is likely to announce lower costs for businesses and households. Now, the Prime Minister's supporters believe that the move would actually help rebuild unity in the party and help with the cost of living crisis. Now, to give us more updates in terms of what this address by the British Prime Minister is likely to be, we're joined in by our correspondent Sally Patterson, who's joining us from London. Sally, this of course is a crucial address that we're going to hear from the British Prime Minister. The cost of living crisis in Britain, how bad is it?
Well, as you say, the Prime Minister is expected to give a pretty major speech in Lancashire later today, where he's hoping to move attention away from the political unrest in his own party and move it towards what he says are the issues that people care about. Now, the first issue that he's going to be talking about is around housing. He has two major policies which he's hoping to put forward. He's expected to put forward. One of these is around housing benefits, and what he's expected to say is that those who are on housing benefits, which is money given to them by the government, this can instead be put towards mortgages, meaning that they can buy their own homes. Now, the second point is on right to buy. This was a major policy under Margaret Thatcher in the 1980s, which saw many council tenants offered to buy their home at a very low cost. And this meant that they became homeowners rather than renting from their local councils. Now, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, is hoping to see this happen, but now with housing associations, which are private social landlords. So if these policies do go through and are announced as expected, this could see a huge proportion of the UK's current council tenants, which is just under 20% in England at the moment. Those could possibly all become homeowners in their own right, meaning that those on the lowest incomes could become homeowners. Absolutely, indeed. And also, as you pointed out, one of the reasons as to what we'll be looking forward in terms of this major speech that we expect Boris Johnson to make is that he would be trying to take the attention away from the scandals that he's been plagued with for the last several months. Do you think the opposition will let him off the hook? Well, I think not. We've already seen, for example, the Shadow Secretary for Levelling Up, Lisa Nandy, say that these policies that he's hoping to put forward, whilst they are good in theory, in practice they're not thought through. And he hasn't thought through the details, she says, and it's unworkable. We've seen much criticism from the Labour Party over what is expected to be announced. Now, we have to remember that just a few days ago, Boris Johnson, 41% of his own party, of the Conservatives, voted against him in a vote of confidence, which meant that they no longer wanted him to lead the party. Now, he did survive that vote, but now there is rumours that in fact other members of parliament could be scheming about whether there could be another vote held to out him sooner than the year in which it currently stands. So he's definitely not in the clear yet. Absolutely indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Sally Patterson, for joining us from London and getting us all those insights there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.